Hey, before we get into this video, I want to say make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see me more talk about more dumb stuff. I stumbled over my words. That doesn't matter. I also have a second channel that literally no one knows about. It's just kind of been sitting there dormant, and I think I'm finally putting it to use. It's called HDMI2. The link is in the description. Make sure to go subscribe to it. We're going to be, the stream highlights will be posted there, and just a bunch of other dumb stuff, like my editing dump. I'll just put all my extra content and memes and stuff like that over there. So if you want to go see content like that, please, I advise you to go subscribe to that. Thank you. On to the video. Sonic Colors. Where do I begin? It's Sonic Colors, one of the most infamous or famous Sonic games to date, at least right now, and I've come to make an apology for it because in my most popular video, Why I Hate Modern Sonic Stories, I had mentioned that I didn't like the game, which I guess was true at the time, but it had been a long time since I played the game, which also contradicts what I said about playing all the Sonic games for this video, but come on, it's pretty obvious I didn't play all of them, and I apologize about that as well. I would have talked about many other Sonic games, and that video would have been much longer if I did. I apologize about that as well. I honestly hate that video in general, and that's my bad, honestly, for not revising that script or outright making a new one, because the script had been sitting around for 2 whole months before I got my new PC to actually make it, and a lot of the wording I used is overly harsh and just outright wrong. I'm still genuinely shocked by the fact that that video got so popular by my channel's standards, and was genuinely liked by the vast majority of people who watched it. I still stand by the points I made in that video, but man, the way I explained them was so atrocious. Anyway, this video is almost in response to what I said about Sonic Colors in that video because, you know, since my PC was so new, I hadn't gotten to the idea of glorious, ever so glorious emulation. And when I did get that chance, it was after the video had been released, and, you know, the first game I played on Dolphin was, you know, you guessed it, Sonic Colors, and I gotta say, I really enjoyed myself. I enjoyed myself so much that I beat it in one sitting, and still have been going back to it every so often. I just, you know, want to sit down and have some fun, I'll play some Sonic Colors. Shutting your brain off kind of thing. Now, because I like this game doesn't mean that it doesn't have any problems, because there are a good handful, especially Colors Ultimate, but we don't talk about that, mainly for the fact that I won't be buying it. So, let's discuss some Sonic Colors, right now. So the plot of Sonic Colors is the most simple Sonic plot since Sonic Heroes. The only difference that this plot, despite having very good potential, falls ever so flat by being one of the worst Sonic plots ever. Eggman wants to reform, and to prove it he builds Eggman Land 2, or Eggman's Interstellar Amusement Park as it's called in-game, but of course Sonic ain't having any of that and goes with Tails to check it out. During their journey, it proves that Sonic was right about Eggman, and, you know, he was enslaving the Wisps for their Hyper-Gohan energy to power his mind control ray to basically rule the world, and it's up to Sonic, Tails, and main Wisp character Yacker to thwart Eggman and free the Wisps. This plot, used with the right ideas and tools, could be a really great story, but, you know, this time was a turning point in Sonic history, and, you know, what we got was new voice actors and new writers, and both fall very flat, for me at least. I like Roger Craig Smith. He's my second favorite Sonic, and right next to Mr. Griffith, but man, he's really rough here. Mainly due to the poor direction and bad writing, but you know, this was his second outing, so I can't bash it too hard here since he gets drastically better later, with objectively worse installments, ironically. But enough of the plot, which is my biggest issue. Let's get on to the gameplay. With Sonic, there's always some kind of gimmick to go along and sell the game, which, you know, isn't a bad thing in my opinion, and I gotta say, Sonic Colors has one of the best gimmicks in any game. Any Sonic game, I mean. The Wisps. The Wisps do suck later in titles, but, you know, it's Colors, man. It's just nice. They could have been implemented slightly better, and I think some Wisps break the pace sometimes, but they're used well enough that it doesn't bother me too much. Sonic controls fine for the most part. His drifting sucks, but he does control better than in other Bruce games. I see complaints very often about how Sonic feels like a powerhouse or a truck in games like Generation, but I do like how Sonic feels in Generations and Unleashed, but Colors by far is my favorite Boost games in terms of control. Sonic is very light on his feet, very fluttery in a sense. I love his running animation and how it feels when boosting. He's fast and strong, but isn't a godly force, nor is this game Boost to win, which is also nice. There is an abundance of 2D sections when some may say are unneeded, and some may say, like me, there is more 2D than 3D. But yeah, I agree with those. I really do agree with those statements, honestly. But it's another one of those things where, yeah, it's just there, and it isn't bad enough to bother me. Like, the level design is fun enough, and the levels themselves are pretty to look at, so yeah, it really doesn't bother me at all. Now, do I prefer 2D Sonic? I'd rather be caught with an anime body pillow, which, by the way, at Jewels37YT, where's my Ruka body pillow you promised me? It's been over half a year, and I still don't have it. Anyway, on another subject, talking about the level design and areas, can I just say that I love these areas? They are probably in my top 5, no, my top 3 Sonic level designs in terms of how they look. I think it's up there with games like Unleashed, Adventure 2, and especially Heroes. This game is really pretty. And I mean the name Colors, you would kind of expect that, but I thought I'd at least point it out to you. There's so much good in this game, but at least in the fan base, all eyes are on this game and all fingers are being pointed at it. There's a side of the fan base that loves this game, like my buddy X-Pool, and there's the other half who claims it's the start of the darkest era in Sonic yet. But I mean, come on, man. That may be true, but that doesn't change the fact that the game is very fun, pretty, and many other things. Sega said, you know what? Screw it, let's just reinvent Sonic, and did that work out well? No. It blew up in their faces hard, but that came with later installments. Dare I say the real start was Lost World, with the bland level design story, and, you know, that tries too hard, but, you know. We aren't talking about Lost World, we're talking about Colors. This game is very short, but the levels within grant a very good replayability with the wisps I had mentioned before. All of the locations even feel very unique, and all the planets being different in some kind of amusement park setting, which really lifts the ideas and restrictions off the level designers' backs. I mean, every location feels fresh and interesting. My favorite being Aquarium Park, being in this traditional Japanese-inspired area, and the others hit it out of the park like Starlight Carnival, Asteroid Coaster, and another standout, Planet Wisp, going from lush green grass and beautiful landscapes to industrialized Eggman-fueled chaos, which is almost as if they're nodding to the original Sonic game for inspiration. Something I forgot to mention is that the wisps are unlocked throughout the game, and those unlockable wisps can be used in older stages that you couldn't use them before, like the drill in Tropical Resort, which can lead to red star rings and new paths get opened up, offering for new ways to play, and yeah, this is really the best use of the wisps I've ever seen. The only good use of the wisps we've ever seen. God, has it really been 11 years since this game came out? One last thing I'd like to touch on this is the soundtrack, which could sum up why I go back to this game so often. Like, this game's soundtrack has no right to be this good. Like, wow. Take a listen. Not to mention the main theme, while not the butt rock I prefer from older games, it's still fantastic, and oh, the final boss theme. This was the last game, in my opinion, to have great final boss music, with this theme being an orchestrated version of the main theme, Reach for the Stars, and man, it is just so good. Say what you will about the story, but this final boss as a whole is really good. So good, Sega made a trend out of it and used it in other games, which are worse, but this final boss feels so epic. As a kid, when I first played this, when Eggman said this machine was invincible, I felt it. And I mean, it looked the part too. And when Sonic starts to overcome that feat and breaks out the other wisps and that music comes on, you feel so powerful. And when you finally defeat Eggman, those sparks fly, the chorus hits, it feels good, man. Oh, and the S ranks aren't piss easy to get, so that definitely helps its case. There! I think that clears my name. Sorry, yeah, I know X-Pool just vanished into thin air, and I'll look for him later, but, you know, this just came into my mind and I had to get that off my chest. Yeah, overall, I do love Sonic Colors. It's just my horrible video and horrible writing at the time kind of mistranslated that. The story, yeah, no, it still sucks. Nah. Dito, no. I've been expecting. And who might you be? Oh. I think you already know.